Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Krashy, and today we've got something really interesting to talk about. So, if you haven't seen yet, I've been tweeting about this. I've seen, I think, like maybe a couple videos about this website. There is a new website called UniteAPI.dev, and this website is going to do a few things. I think it's really interesting. It's a very newly launched site. Still kind of slow, laggy. Still needs a little bit of TLC to it, but it's very simple and very elegant. Essentially, UniteAPI is a data tracking site. It's a player lookup site. It's a statistics site, and you can essentially come in here and search for players. Now, the biggest thing about this is that it's a little laggy, like I said, but you can actually see, my date and time is right here. I just got done playing like a handful of games, 4 games or so, and it tracks these games. It tracks everything. It keeps track of my master points, a bunch of your statistics, daily statistics, player stats, and things of that nature. So what's really important about this site is a couple of things. This is going to help push the player base in a direction for knowledge. This is going to help people look up good players, find out what they're using for their builds, and gain additional information on things. Now, that's cool. That, to begin with, is automatically really cool. It kind of shows you the last used builds on a lot of these characters that people are using or trying, all of their win percentages and things of that nature, and then as well as the games. Now, this is the part that I think is really exciting, and definitely the thing that we should be looking into. You can see the full match. You can see the full match that you played. You can see all the people that are in it, and you can actually look them up as well. So the important thing about this is that this is going to give us some information about matchmaking. And I want to try really hard to do something here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. Essentially, you can look and see, how the matchmaking is working. And in my opinion, this gives us irrefutable proof that the matchmaking is not working properly. At least not to a degree that I'm comfortable with. I mean, properly based on their rules, maybe. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to look up all of my teammates from my last game. Again, no hate to anybody that may be on these lists. And I want to build an average of our total points. And actually, this is working right now, so that might work. So 1953, 53, 1521, 1521, 1491, 1362, 1362, and lastly 1316. 13. And now the team average is an average of 1528. Now, I already have some problems with this. That was my team's average in my last game that I played, was 1528. And I'm a 1950 player. So you can already see there's an issue with the matchmaking. I'm 1900 flexing down to players in the 1300s. And in my opinion, that's really bad already. And should kind of be understood why that's bad. I'm averaging out the team. Now here's what I'd like to do is create a team average for the other team. So 1528, I'm going to use a new tab to write that down. 1528 versus, and let's see if I can get all this information. I want to see, now I've never done this before, by the way. I'm using this as a first time to see what it looks like. So 1671 plus 1609, 1609 plus 1422, 2 plus 1501, 1501 plus 1258, 1259. It's crazy low. All right, 7462 divided by 5, 1492. 1492. So the matchmaking's working, but not in a way that I think that we should be comfortable with. In a sense. Now the reason I say that is because if you can't see this, the two values were 1528 versus 1492. That's really close range of each other. Let me do something for visual representation. Let me just do something for visual representation. 15, 28 versus 1492. So this is a fair match, right? This is a fair match, technically. On the surface, you would look at this and say this is a fair match. The problem is that this system is operating against the high-rated players. You know, I'm on the team that's 1592, but I'm 1950, and there are other players on the enemy team that are in the 1600s that are also being averaged down to 1500. So while I would say that this is a fair match because the averages of the teams are even, it's not a fair match for the players who are being leveraged because of their high skill level. And this is irrefutable proof, in my opinion, that the matchmaking is not working. Now, I want to show you another game that I played recently. This was before the new year. And again, no flame to any of these players. This is the matchmaking's fault. I don't mean this in a bad way at all. But this is the team that I was on. This was a loss. Yeah, I remember streaming this game. I was really stressed out. And we were looking at this on stream. And this is kind of what got a lot of this going. But this player, like on my team, is like 1137, 46% win rate. And you know, I just find this to be really frustrating. Like when people say like the matchmaking in this game is bad, and at the time you know, you don't really have a lot that you can prove about it. There's not really a lot that you can say to say like, well, it's bad because it feels like this, you know, it's bad because, well, I feel like this is the first time that I feel like I can look at some information and say, no, this is bad, like this is not working anymore. Let's do another one. I'm just curious for the sake of working this all out. Let's do another one of these games, if we can, because this is another one of my games from earlier this morning. And let these profiles generate, and then I'll do like the math on it, because I'm curious. Like I wanna know what, you know. All right, so same thing. I want to see if that's how it's working, because I've always assumed that it built based on averages. But I was never sure. 1739 plus. So you can see this is the matchmaking. The matchmaking is working, but it's pulling from players who, in my opinion, I don't think are fairly being pulled from. And if the matchmaking was tighter in terms of creating these games, then we would see much more fair, much more balanced matches. This is a fair match, but it's not balanced. Does that make sense? And so when I think I just want to kind of spread this information about my current position with the matchmaking to give some true information about it, to show you that, yeah, the games are creating fair matches because technically, you know, each team probably doesn't have a very great player. Like this guy was 1919 on his team. I'm 1953 on my team. You know, he's playing Cinder, I'm playing Mime, and, you know, we both have, you know, a low-rated player on our team. I think we did. He had a 1200 player. What do I have? I don't remember. What's my lowest? I have a 1200 player. And so, you know, these games are fair in that sense, but it's not really a good game. And I think that when it comes to competitive ranked modes and matchmaking and things like that, that's what we should be pushing for. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. I think that like a website like this is great regardless, right? Like, I know I'm using it for this one purpose, but like I could look up, oh man, I don't remember what Lutano's name is in game. I don't remember what anybody's name is in game. I was gonna say I could look up, you know, some of the high rated players. Is it TTV Lutano? Maybe. And this would give me the ability to look into their builds and things like that. So a resource like this, really, really awesome, because we're going to start to get more information that we want, you know? Yeah, look, so TTV Lutano, I can see what builds he likes to run. I can see how his games have been going, who he's been playing against. Like, I think we're seeing some interesting stuff. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This video is really random. At very least, you found out a new website that's really, really cool. I think this website is super cool. You can use this to look at builds. You can use this to peek into the game, pull back the veil a little bit and see what's going on. So as always, be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone that you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.